Thursday, and it's 4 o'clock Arizona time. Tick tock. It's always when someone wants to message me. Totally. Excuse me. My goodness. They've been spraying and doing whatever they do outside. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Shannon Miller, and I am CEO of Clean Freaks University, where I teach others how to run the back end of their cleaning business instead of being run over by their cleaning business. And I'm also a cleaning business owner here in the great state of Arizona. It's called madebroker.com. You're more than welcome to check it out. I have been in the cleaning industry for over a decade. So I actually come here live usually once a week, and I give you guys some insight on the industry and what you can do from there to help make your business grow. I know that I put up the calendar for next year's roundtable. There's 4. So if you have not had the chance to actually go to the event and say I'm going, or that I'm interested, or whatever it is that you decide to do, then by all means, please take this opportunity to do so. It's open to the first 100 people. Since there are 5,000 of you in this group, so it's going to be first come, first serve. So whoever happens to get there first will log in. If we have a lot of response, we can certainly hold more roundtables. It just depends on the audience and the need for the group, right? So I wanted to come here and talk a little bit about 3 mistakes that most cleaning business owners make at the beginning of the year. And I know you guys hear me harp on my soapbox all of the time about pricing. If you have not given a price increase, I highly recommend that you do. If you've been gun shy, I'm more than willing to hold your hand and walk you through the process. You can ask anybody. I've gotten on the phone on multiple occasions, and I've walked them through on how to do a price increase. It's important that we're all charging what the national averages are right now. And I know that we are in the highest form of inflation in over 40 years. Hopefully I'm not bumping the table and it's making that audio noise that I hate so much. So that's super important that you have given a price increase by the end of the year or starting at the beginning of next year. And once you get your clients groomed to the concept that, yes, you are going to increase your prices annually, then you just give them a small bump every year. And then that way you can keep your cleaning techs well paid and still keep the same profit margin. That's super important. We were talking about pay for performance yesterday. So for those of you who were in class yesterday, I'm working on a workbook to kind of break it down more specific with, I don't know if I have the technical skills to get the graphics in there, but we will certainly get you more information on how the pay for performance works for your cleaning techs. Number 2 mistakes in your cleaning business is, I had my notes here and I'm cheating, tax deductions. This has been a hot topic in the last couple conversations I've had with people. Please understand that there's a lot of items that you can deduct, especially if this is your first year in business. There's seed money. Typically, seed money is any money that you invested from your personal savings account or a small business loan. I highly recommend that you do the personal business account versus the small business loan. You just don't want that monkey on your back. And then you get yourself in a hole and it's really hard to get out because you're freaking out about trying to make this monthly payment of a loan, right? Because it does come with interest. Even with a small business administration, when you do the math on how much it's going to cost you for the long term of the loan, and you break down the math and you're going, oh, it's just like with a mortgage payment, right? So making sure you know what your tax deductions are. So any form of investment that you made initially, and I know it's easier than when I first started my cleaning business. We have social media and it's free for the most part. Unless you want to run an ad in one of the social media outlets, you can genuinely open your own Facebook page, and then you can have your own Facebook business page, and then you can maybe start a group if you wanted. There's a lot of options with social media that weren't when I first started my business way back over a decade ago. So take advantage of those opportunities. Any cell phone bills, any car payments, any mileage. Your mileage by far will be your number 1 deduction. And if you're doing your own taxes, make sure that you are letting the government know that you do have a second vehicle to use for personal use and that your work vehicle is a deduction. And if you only have the one work vehicle and you use it for personal and work use, then your deduction is less. I think you get like 22 cents a mile. I haven't checked to see what the final numbers were. And then if you have a full-on work vehicle, I recall it's like 58 cents per mile that you can deduct for every mile that you drive. So it ends up being thousands of dollars you save on your taxes owed, which is a good thing, right? Any office space, any storage unit, any cleaning supplies you bought, any microfiber cloths, any mops, mop heads, mop buckets, any of those types of things, headphones. If you wear a certain type of yoga pants, and those are that's your work uniform, then you can deduct those. It gets a little gray if they are, multi-use, so you wear them to yoga class and then you wear them to work. If you had your logo on them, then that kind of defines it more of as a uniform. It's a gray area, so be very careful that you don't get dinged, right? What else? Any company meetings you have, any company gift cards that you give out, any client or cleaning tech appreciation days, those are awesome and those are fully deductible. Any lunch that you have with a business partner that you're talking about business, you can, I think, write off 50% of the ticket. I don't think they will allow you to write off your tip. So I always tip in cash anyway. I don't want the government to tax these poor guys any more than what they're getting taxed. So those are just some of the deductions that you can write off for next year. You should be getting all of your receipts together and putting them in your QuickBooks account. If you're doing it by hand, it is more tedious and cumbersome. I highly recommend that you get a basic QuickBooks plan. And the great part about QuickBooks now versus the old versions when you had to upload them to your computer, I know I'm dating myself, but you can there's an actual QuickBooks app now, so you can scan your receipt and it'll actually pop it into your account, and that's free. It comes with a basic QuickBooks plan. So that is something to consider. Any payroll costs, we were just talking about this the other day. Any health accounts that, depending on your size, obviously having a health account is probably not going to be in your radar this year or maybe next year. It just depends on what they do with regulation. Any retirement funding that you set up for your cleaning tax would be a write-off. So those are just some of the basics. Every business has slightly different needs, but make sure that you're understanding what the laws are. If you're unsure, then you should go to your Small Business Administration website. If I recall, I had a video that I did, I want to say a couple months ago. This fourth quarter is going by fast. I can't believe it's December 1st, right? So I would look for your Small Business Administration, and then you can actually go to your state to make sure that you're following and adhering to labor laws. You don't want to get yourself into a sticky widget, so to speak. And then the biggest thing, the number 2 question behind pricing is I get asked the differences between the 1099s and W-2s. So, you get to hear it again. So you can write off all of the costs for your employees because they're your employees, right? There's going to be hard costs. There is your recruitment costs, right? You can, technically, it's a gray area if you can write recruitment cost off for 1099s. So you would have to check with your state to see if that's even allowable. So there might be a gray area with that. So I would double check. But you can't train your 1099s. They can't wear your uniforms. They can't drive your company cars. You don't supply them with any gear. You can request for them to show up at a certain time, but if they don't, you just got to work around it. That's just the ins and outs of having 1099s. With an employee, they sign an employee manual. They get sick pay. They get overtime pay. They get vacation pay if you offer it. Most people don't offer vacation pay anymore because of the sick time. So those are some of the things that those are some of the differences between 1099s and W-2s. You can write up a W-2 and you can't write up a 1099. You can say, if you don't honor your quality guarantee, we're not going to be using you again. And you can have them sign a vendor agreement. I emphasize that immensely. Your 1099 should carry their own insurance. There's always this sticky gray area of, I'm taking this person, I'm introducing them to this trade, I'm hiring them in as a 1099, but you're not really hiring them, you're just making an agreement because they're a vendor, because they're a 1099. And then I've heard of girls actually training their 1099s, and you can't train 1099s. Now, there is a workaround for that. For those of you who are listening, you can pay them to come clean your house, and you can validate them that way if you don't have any boots on the ground to figure out if they're doing a good job or not. A lot of people are working remotely right now, so having boots on the ground and having a trainer check out somebody that you're paying specifically, and that might not be a vendor, that might be an actual W-2. There's lots of different varieties of what goes on in everyone's business. So make sure that you understand specifically what is going on between your 1099s and your W-2s, because then you can get in all kinds of trouble. You can get a big fat fine, and then it's all penalties and interest plus all of the back pay that you owe, and then you have to get a labor attorney. It's a big, ugly thing. So make sure that you were following protocol, that your 1099s carry their own general liability insurance. I saw a post today. I can't remember the gentleman's name. I'm hoping he calls me. And by the way, if I'm asking you to call me, it's not because I want to pitch to you. It's because I want to solve your problem quickly. So please call me so that we can work it out. Sometimes it takes more effort to actually articulate what I want to say than actually getting on the phone with you and saying, hey, this is what I think it is, or this is what I think you should do. And by all means, I'm not an attorney, but I've just been doing this a long time, so I technically can't give you legal or financial advice. I'm just giving you my basic experience on what I've experienced being in this industry over a decade. So if you watch this video, I can't recall who your name is off the top of my head, please call me so that we can walk through. You had some questions over workman's comp and general liability and an additional bond. And it sounds to me like they're only hiring W-2s, not 1099s. So I wouldn't know that until I got more information from you. So when you have gotten all of your ducks in the row with these 3 issues that I'm bringing to your attention so that you can have a smooth running shifts at the beginning of next year, then it's like touchdown, right? Boom, I slam that ball down and I am going to roll it in, right? Because that's the whole point. You're fishing for the right clients, you're fishing for the right cleaning techs, and you're ultimately here to make money. It's not a hobby, right? For most of us, it's not a hobby. We're here to actually make money. So you should probably know right where you're going to land at the end of 4th quarter. If you need help with your numbers, I have one-on-one sessions to work through and walk you through your numbers and where you should be margin-wise. I think they're in the featured. I'm happy to do so. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I've heard everything this year, and I've seen everything this year. So we've had a lot of really cool experience. Well, I've had. I hope you guys have too. Really awesome experiences. I've watched lots of people jump through a lot of hurdles to go from like 0 up to 99. And like, I mean, look at Jamie. Jamie's done a phenomenal job. She like started the business in I think February, and she's actually out of the field in a matter of months just because she works with me, right? So, I never would have thought that it would have happened within less than a year, but it did, because she took the ball with every piece of information that I gave her and ran with it. Everybody's on a different level of what's going to happen in their day-to-day. Like, everybody has kids. Everybody's got a life. Everybody's got all stuff going on. But pat Jamie on the back next time you talk to her. She's done an awesome job. Are we going to finish super duper strong? I'm hoping so. We'll look at those numbers at the end of the year and see where she finished at. But yes, you just never know what people are going to do when you give them the information. So that's why I come here once a week to tell you about concerns that are coming up, because we have 4 weeks left, right? Yay! And then it's 2023. Yay! I want to have a goal workshop. If that is something that you guys are interested in, hit me up. More than likely it'll be done on a Saturday morning. I haven't quite worked out all of the details. I'm also considering having a paid for master class. If that is something that you might be interested in as well, it wouldn't be very much money. And it would only be open to 12 to 15 people at a time. And then that way you guys can kind of ply me with your questions, and we can maybe we can get April or Kimmy in there. I know a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on, but at least you can get 3 experts in literally different genres in the same industry. So to kind of answer your questions. So if that is something that you're interested in being in, or if you just want a small, intimate masterclass with me, I can do that too. We can work out all of the details later. And I always forget to ask. So if you are watching this on the replay, please put in hashtag replay. If you like or love the video and the information that I've given you, please heart it or like it. It helps with the algorithm so that the rest of the group can see the video. I've seen Facebook suppress videos for like almost 48 hours after we do them, and I'm not quite sure what we've done to have that happen. I don't know if it happens in every group. Sometimes I can see posts right away. Sometimes it's 48 hours. I don't know. I don't control Facebook. So those are my 3 things to prepare you for the beginning of the year. There's 3 big mistakes. So make sure that you have all of your receipts and you know what your deductions are. And I think there's actually a list on the IRS.gov where you can list of deductions, a basic list. Now, the cleaning is going to be a little different than a basic business. And then making sure you are at the right price point, super duper important. If you still have problems with understanding what the pricing is, you can go right to my website. I finally got it loaded in there. Yes, I'm so excited. The Pricing Blueprint Masterclass, it's a mere $20.22. It breaks down regular maintenance cleaning, top to bottom, deluxe cleaning, and move-out cleanings. And it discusses how you should have add-on charges and where you should be. I still haven't found another videographer for the number 2 Pricing Blueprint Masterclass. I had someone who just didn't, you make a deposit and then they fly, right? It's just the way of the industry. So make sure that those are on, and then make sure you know the huge differences of 1099s and W-2s. And also know that you have an X amount of date to get those 1099s, their 1099s, and their W-2s, those W-2 forms. It's the 31st of January for W-2s, and I believe they moved it last year for the 1099s. So I'd have to actually double check that date when they're due, but you have to actually have them mailed, have them given to the right agency. You can do snail mail. Believe it or not, they'll still accept them unless they've changed the rule from last year, or you can submit them electronically if you use a payroll service. It just depends on what works for you. And always, if you're not printing them out in 3 parts, that you're printing out 3 sessions of them so you have a record. Because one is for you, one is for the state agency, and one is for the federal government. Anyway, I hope that answers all of your questions, and I look forward to speaking to all of you soon. You guys have a great day. Take care.